Hi, my name's Jules, and today we're at the XLMOTO Garage, and we're going to be giving you a guide to motorcycle boots. What types, what kinds, what sort of protection, and where you should be wearing them. So, why should you wear a motorcycle boot? For a start, the highest percentage of accidents are featuring legs and feet. Now, you may think, well, okay, I could wear my regular shoes. But if you have a 500 kilo bike and you lose your balance at a stoplight and you fall over, well, your leg's going to get crushed underneath the bike. This is why a motorcycle boot is an essential piece of kit, if not the most important piece of kit to be wearing on your motorcycle, because nobody wants a foot peg through their ankle. So we'll start with racing boots. They're basically designed for high speed, tracks and racing. They feature advanced protection and generally have super tough reinforced toes, reinforced ankles. They will have shin guards and they will also have sliders. So when you're going round on a track at such levels, the boot will actually touch the ground. So the slider here will stop the boot from wearing away and will just wear the slider away. So on these particular boots, we have removable sliders, both on the side and on the rear. So this particular boot also features air vents along the front, because when it's hot conditions and you're racing, then this will provide the adequate airflow to try and keep you nice and cool. In terms of the boots themselves, racing boots are designed to be stiff. Bikes ride up to 350 kilometers an hour round tracks. And if you come off at that speed, you're going to want the ultimate protection. Hence, there's both lateral and side torsion and strength. So these boots feature an inner boot in itself. The idea being that you want these boots to be tight, you want them to be snug, and you want them to protect yourself. You don't want your foot moving around because it's all to do with control, the level of control on the bike and the touch and feel while you're racing. So this particular one, as I say, it comes with an inner boot. Now this has an exoskeletal frame around the ankles, which allows it to only go so far forward, therefore helping to avoid breakages and stopping your ankles from going forward. It has drawstring attachments on the front, so it allows it to pull it up nice and tight, and then this fits inside the outer boot and provides the ultimate protection when you're riding and racing. So the other thing with racing boots is they generally come with a super sticky sole, because when you're racing again, it's all to do with the foot placement on the rear sets, and you want to make sure your foot's in the right place and not going to have to fall off. The final thing is, racing boots aren't necessarily built for comfort. So while they're great on a bike, once you're off the bike, they're not really intended for walking around due to their stiff nature and construction. Next up, we have touring boots. And as the name suggests, these are ideal for long distance riding. Their purpose is to be comfortable on the bike. They're going to provide you protection from the elements, so generally they'll be waterproof, they'll be padded, but they'll still have the added benefit of having hard toes, reinforced heels, and they'll also have a little bit of padding, or they'll have some protection on the front for the shins. These particular boots are adjustable because your foot doesn't need to be so firmly in place like in a race boot. So for this particular model with the Velcro, it means that you can adjust it to fit the exact size of your ankle. Now, they do also come with a grip because these are far easier to walk in and can be used both on and off the bike. So the primary purpose is comfort and also durability. Adventure or dual sport boots. Okay, so as the name suggests, they're intended for off-road as well as on-road use. So essentially they take their cues from a motocross boot in that they have a rugged exoskeletal shell, which means it will protect your ankle and it will protect the movement, so there's less likelihood of damage to your legs. They will also come with hardened toe caps. They will come with protected heels, and it will come with a protective shin guard as well. The use of buckles means that you're able to cinch the boot down, so that means that you'll get the perfect fit that you require every time. And then we're also looking at probably a waterproof boot. Because when you're riding off-road, you might be riding through rivers, the weather conditions might change, so you want something that's going to live up to the standards when it's raining or wet or cold. They also come with a thicker sole, because you're going to be using that a lot more, putting your feet down when you're off-road, on the gravel, on the dirt, on rocks, so it really needs to stand up to the tough, hard wearingness that is required from an adventure boot. If you're looking for a slightly more stylish boot, let's say you're going out on your cruiser, or you might be on a cafe racer, or you may even be commuting, then you look to this kind of boot. Essentially, it still has the protected toe caps, it still has a hard heel, it covers the shin and the ankle, and it also has an opening, which means it's a lot easier to get on and off rather than having to do laces up and take those laces off. Obviously, the boot doesn't offer as much protection as either an adventure boot or a touring boot or a race boot, but for when you're riding around the city, it has the essentials. They also come with grips on the sole, so it means that it's comfortable for walking, and they're usually water resistant as well. So this is a great all-round boot if you're just looking to buzz around town. Finally, we move on to urban and street boots. Now, these have gained a lot of popularity over the last years, what with the cafe racer scene. A lot of people want something that's not quite so heavyweight. They want something slightly more stylish and can be worn with their jeans. So, these boots in particular, one of the things you might think, well, why can't I wear my regular boots? What you'll find, motorcycle boots generally have strength from side to side. So that means that the sole is not going to get crushed should the bike fall onto you. They will also have slightly stronger heels, and these particular ones will have padded toes as well. So it just means there's a little bit of extra protection for you. Finally, you'll always want something that covers your ankles, because that's one protrusion that if you fall off is going to hit the deck first. And one final tip, if you are going to wear boots that have laces, you either need to make sure that you tuck the laces away, or at the very least, you need to tie a double knot in your laces. Because the last thing you want is for your laces to come undone, your lace to get stuck in the chain and dragged into the back wheel. So the next thing, we'll show you how to measure your foot, and if you want to check out all the boots, they're available on XLMOTO.com. So the easiest way to take your foot measurement is to find a wall. You take your tape measure, place it against the wall, and place your foot on top of the tape measure with your heel against the wall, and then measure to the tip of your toe. And it might just be a good idea to wear the riding socks that you would usually use, because this will then give you an accurate measurement, including your sock. So, we hope we've been able to show you a few of the different boot styles and choices that are available to you. You just need to really think about where you're going to be riding, what you're going to be riding, and the conditions you're going to be riding in. So all the boots are available at the XLMOTO website. Make sure to check the size chart to get the correct size. And we'd like to thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all again soon.